Hello, this is for my friends from Honduras. There has been a lot of people who have been communicating with us. So this is for one of my good friend who has been calling up from Teguchi Kalpa. First of all, please understand that there are two types of bhumis in the world. That there are Tantra bhumi and there are normal bhumis in the world. The Tantra bhumis are praised by the Tantra scriptures, saying that you can do the Tantra Sadhana in that particular place across. The problem with the Tantra bhumi is it is not so easily identifiable. For example, in one of the texts of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, it is said that the temple of the Kali Ghat was built over a land which was like a tortoise. It is considered that is the landlocked lord. It looks like a tortoise. The Kamakya also was built in a land which was like a tortoise. So the great temple of Kamakya. So the point is the Tantra describes about certain types of places where the Tantra sadhana can be done, and there are certain places where the Sattvic sadhana can be done. Now, in terms of the two continents meeting, there is a bridge which is going together. It's like a small stretch of land. It is called as the Isle of Panama, or the what do you call, where the South America and the North America meet. Surprisingly, that kind of land is praised by the Tantra to do the Tantra sadhana. They say where there is two confluence of ocean, where there is two confluence of rivers, you can do the Tantra sadhana very, very easily across as a person. Now, what happens is, now was the Tantra sadhana done there? Yes, it was done. First, it was done by the great Mayans. Mayans were the great civilization which was what you call it as the current day Guatemala was more or less their capital. They had built a lot of structures and there was a lot of timing involved in that thing. And suddenly one day they had disappeared. And the next famous civilization which had existed at that particular point of time is the Aztecs. The Aztecs believe in the human sacrifices, and they were the community which dominated that particular bridge. Now, if you see the closeness of that, if you go to a bird's eye view, you will see they are very closely linked. Maximum 100-200 kilometers they are there. So the first thing is we have to accept that there are two oceans which are meeting. One is the Caribbean Ocean, the other one is the South Pacific Ocean. Both the oceans are meeting in that small bridge of land, and that's exactly the Mayan capital and the Aztec capital was built across. So the other point of it is the man who dominated, Cortes, also landed exactly very close to that place which is called as Yucatan. So the point is, so the entire bhumi is a Tantra bhumi. That is why you have the Medellin cartel, you have the Sinola cartel, you have the Gudrajal cartel. The cartel keeps coming up like hell. That is why they have a deity which is called like Santa Fe. If you really look at it, it looks like a booth. It looks like a skeleton which is there, and the offering is done all over the Mexico City. Even during the Ancestors' Day worship, it is being done across. Now that is exactly the lower astral worship which was perfected by the Aztecs and by the Mayan civilization which believed in the human sacrifices. Now what happens if you kind of invoke those kind of devata over there? First of all, alcohol, drugs, any kind of drugs will be freely available there because it comes under the possession of the lower astral. The second one is people tend to eat meat. A lot of meat people will tend to eat. It will be very, very difficult for people to live in the vegetarian diet. The third most difficult thing what there will be there will be people would be like murder will be very, very common because the black vortex would have been opened there. Now imagine that bridge through that bridge they had done that lot of sadhana. So the black vortex is opened up. The black vortex will influence the people mind and the bhumi of that particular place. So all these cartels will come up. For example, they will like to worship the dead people. They would like to worship the graveyard. I have seen in the videos the graveyard is air conditioned across, and people who do these nefarious activities are considered what you call hero. They tend to distribute the money as if it's like that. So you have very, very famous drug lords like that of the Pablo Escobar, or that of the the Sinaloa cartel. There are different kinds of cartel which comes up as if they give initiation. One guy dies, another guy takes over. There's a lot of sicario who takes over, and normally the Tantra Sadhana is done in the secret. These people are amazing. They put tunnels. Nobody discovers them across, and they are living always in a cave like a situation. They live inside deep caves, deep underground. They're always doing the underground activities, which is also praised by the Tantra scriptures. So please understand, Honduras is a Tantra Bhumi. The entire place is a Tantra Bhumi. Another bigger problem is there are a lot of people who are Sattvic souls. They will find themselves as a misfit, because the people who are very successful there will do the 6, 8, 12 work. They will do what you call nefarious activity, antisocial activity, anti-government activity. They will kill, mime, murder, use black magic, invoke the Santa Fe, and open up the black vortex or tap the black vortex across. So that is the problem in that particular area. The American government is fighting this particular menace of the drugs, but they seems to have an innovative trade routes. They seems to have it's like a war which is being taken across the America. They fled the cocaine, morphine, crack, crocodile, all these kinds of drugs are available there, and people die constantly. People die young. It is said that whenever the black vortex opens up, the mothers will bury the children. Whenever the white vortex opens up, the children will bury the mother. I think in quintessence it talks about people dying. That is why many people find their marriage life very disturbed. Multiple marriages, sex before marriages are all very common. Young children dying, and you have what you call a lot of pandemic. If there is no pandemic, if there is no illness, then people get shoot out and they die across. So there is a constant state of war which has been opened up because of this black vortex. Imagine a culture which is offering all the time to the lower astral. The Aztecs used to kill people, pluck the heart and offer it to the sun. So immediately the black vortex will open up. They have opened up so much of the black vortex. You have souls from the lower world which will keep on being born. They have a temple where the skulls are organized in a manner. It is said if the skull is kept, the soul cannot get on to the moksha. So the soul cannot be reborn as a human being. So such kind of what you call black vortex has been done over there. So the first and the foremost is we need to establish a temple or Sattvic Devata like Lakshmi Narayana, especially the very close to the Mayan capital, very close to the Aztec capital, and the Sattvic offerings has to be given. The white vortex has to be opened up, and the black vortex has to be completely closed up, and it has to be done in a step by step, and it has to be done in a repeated fashion. Otherwise many people will have a mass death, a mood swing during Amavas, Ashtami, Navami, and also during the Rahu, Ketu Nakshatra, and also during the Mars Nakshatra. Unfortunately, you do not have these kind of things in India. In India, they had segregated a place which is like Assam. But if you see that sea where the two continents meet, it is like the two seas meet. They have opened up the black vortex. unless a person who understands the nature of the vortex. Whenever the black vortex opens up, death, divorce, sickness, marriage problem, children dying at very young age, lack of education, accidents, these are like will be very prone. There will be a lot of bali. That's why Pablo Escobar became so successful. He had so much of money coming into it because he was constantly giving the bali. And when the bali stopped only, they were able to get him across. So the point is, it is a Tantra Bhumi. It has to get converted into a Sattvic Bhumi. Unless somebody looks at the history over a period of 100 years, 500 years, unless somebody looks at it like a Tantra Sadhana, it would be very, very difficult. If you see the South America, you actually see a guy whose jaw is kind of like gone inside. So that is also a way to look at the thing across. It is as if it's like a ghost. It's like a ghost across. So the point is, we need to do the ritual to open up. Otherwise, you have to do a lot of tilahoma. A lot of people die unnaturally. The souls are not liberated. They are caught in the bardo, the twilight of the world. Between the life and death, there's a passage. Many people are caught up, and all the time this black vortex is opening. That is why there is so much of killing and chaos. People have lost the distinction between the right and the wrong, the good and the bad, peaceful living across. That is why many souls look lost in their life. They feel as if there is no point in living, and they are very frightened to get married. Their business goes down. They have up and down swings. They have kind of court cases across because they live in the Tantra Bhumi. Remember, that is the Devata of Santa Fe is being done. We have to give the bali of the Santa Fe across. That is why women tend to be very, very powerful in that particular area, because it is normally the Tantra Bhumi. And fatherless children, like that, you will see all kinds of disharmonious thing which is against the nature will be there. That is why many people wonder how, like Rakta Bija, it is described in the Sanskrit textbook. It talks about the Rakta Bija. Whenever one Asura dies, his blood falls, there will be millions of Asuras will be born. That is why the moment Pablo Escobar died, the Sinaloa cartel came into the full force. The Sinaloa cartel died, then the Gujarat cartel came. Like that, the cartels will keep coming up. Unless people understand this, they tend to close the vortex which has been opened by the Aztecs and the Mayan. This menace is going to continue. Another place where the vortex has opened is Afghanistan. There has been an endless war for the last 500 years. First the Mongols came, then the British came, then the American came. Nobody has ever conquered, and the people die, and I don't understand the meaning of jihad. They keep on fighting, they keep on fighting. They have been fighting for the last 500 years, and they vow like the Bhishma. When the Bhishma was actually vowed by the Sikandi, she told, I will come back and kill that Bhishma. After 8 lifetimes she is born. All these souls, when they die, they take a vow, I will kill that enemy, I will kill that enemy. The revenge continues after lifetime after lifetime. The people don't get healed across. So please understand, my dear friends, you need to have a different approach. The vortex which is opened by the Aztecs and the Mayan, though the civilization is wonderful, they are the representants and the guardians of the black vortex. Ultimately, both of them got destroyed by the outside people. It is described in the Tantra Sadhana that outside forces will come and destroy these tantric site across, just like Kamakya and all that thing. That is why I request you, go into the Sattvic mode. Do the Nagar Sadhana, do the Tilahoma, Sarpashanti Puja, all that will be helpful to you. This is for my dear friends, because most of them do not know why they are suffering. Remember, whenever white vortex opens up, marriage, childbirth, longevity, education, peaceful living, all that is all possible. It is not God. God is represented by the vortex of the black and white. So the main problem is there are many areas in the world like Wuhan. In Wuhan they have opened up the black vortex. That is why all those lower astral devatas has come up by eating all kinds of nonsense. Unless you get possessed, you can't eat. How can you eat mountain snake and all? That is all possible only if you get possessed. People think they are eating. There are things which comes through you. Remember, you are like the internet. You can be accessed by the lower spirits. Your website can be accessed. Your cell phone can be accessed. Your mind can be accessed by many lower spirits across. So learn the psychic protection. I wish you all the best. But remember, this is a mind-boggling stuff what I am talking, because many people don't understand the meaning of the vortex, the meaning of the offering, and they do not know why there is so much of chaos in that particular area. People have got killed and massacred. Billions of dollars has been spent across, but they were never able to overcome the cocaine trade, the amphetamine trade, because the vortex is active. Unless you work with the energy, you cannot do with the physical world. The Japanese were able to close the vortex in the Second World War because of the Shinto Buddhism and also about the Zen Buddhism. India has never passed through this other than the area. That's why Bengal, there is still a lot of bloodshed goes across on that thing. I wish you all the best, and I hope you have any queries on that. Please do write to us in English. We'd always be glad to answer it. Thank you.